On our 7th wedding anniversary, I found a plane ticket hidden in Travis Bennett's drawer. I thought it was a surprise he had planned for me. But that night, all he said was that he had to go on a business trip. Unable to sleep, I scrolled through my phone and saw a post from his first love on Weibo. Bucket list at 18, watching the northern lights in Iceland with the person I love the most. Finally came true today. The photo showed her kissing Travis under the aurora. I didn't cry. I didn't text him to confront him. After chasing him for so many years, I was truly exhausted. 1. When Travis came back, I had just finished plating the last dish, spicy prawns. I used to love spicy food, couldn't eat without it. But Travis couldn't handle spice. After we got together, I never made a single spicy dish again. But today, I suddenly didn't feel like compromising anymore. Travis placed a necklace on the table. It was a pink diamond necklace I had saved in my online shopping cart for ages, never willing to splurge on. He pressed his lips together and said, "Anniversary gift." I got too busy at work a couple of days ago and totally forgot. "It's fine," I replied. I picked up a prawn without looking at him. Travis froze for a second, the words he wanted to say stuck in his throat. He looked at me, surprised. He thought I'd cry like before, hurt, tearful, asking him to explain everything. Honestly, I thought I'd never be able to stay this calm in the face of his betrayal. That day, our 7th anniversary. When I saw the ticket in the drawer, my heart suddenly started pounding. I felt an unexplainable excitement. The destination was Iceland. Watching the northern lights in Iceland had always been part of our honeymoon plans. Back then, he was swamped with work, so we postponed it, until now. I thought Travis had finally planned the surprise. I cooked an entire dinner, lit candles, and waited for him to come home. But when he returned, he didn't even look at me. He rushed into the bedroom. When he came out, he simply said, "Something came up at work. I need to travel," and left. And he took that plane ticket with him. Turns out, he wasn't taking me to see the northern lights. Turns out, he had forgotten it was our anniversary. I stared at the candlelit dinner I had so carefully prepared, and suddenly had no appetite at all. I leaned on the couch, watching the snowy street outside, my eyes stinging. Even after a long while, I still couldn't sleep. I opened Weibo and saw a new post. It was from Travis's first love, Autumn Monroe. She'd tagged the location as Iceland. The caption read, "Bucket list at 18, watching the northern lights in Iceland with the person I love the most." Finally came true today. The picture showed her kissing Travis under the aurora. My phone dropped to the floor with a loud thud. So Travis had gone to Iceland with Autumn. I should have known. I sat frozen in the cold living room all night, unable to sleep. Why is everything spicy? Travis sat down, ready to eat, but frowned at the dishes in front of him. "I thought you weren't coming back," I said, setting down my utensils and getting ready to head to the bedroom. He grabbed my wrist, his gaze complicated. After a long pause, he asked, "Jasmine, you're just going to walk away like this?" I turned around, puzzled. What else am I supposed to do? Cook him a midnight snack like I used to whenever he came home late from work? 2. Just as I lay down in bed, my phone buzzed. It was a message from my boss. "Jasmine Spencer, knowing you, I have to double-check, are you really going through with the transfer to the UK? I honestly hope you do, but you've turned me down so many times because of your Travis, I just wanted to be sure." I gave a helpless smile and replied, "Don't worry, boss. I've made up my mind this time." A year ago, our company opened a branch in the UK. The manager position had been vacant ever since. My boss had asked me more than once, saying it was a rare opportunity and encouraging me to take it. I was tempted, moving there meant a promotion, and my salary would double. But the one thing I couldn't let go of was Travis. When Travis was young, his mom left him and moved abroad. His dad didn't pay him much attention either. He was only 11 when his dad moved them into the house next to mine. It was New Year's Eve. He sat quietly at the doorstep all by himself. I was outside lighting fireworks when I saw him, his small figure huddled in the corner, staring longingly at the sky. When he noticed me watching, he looked down and quickly returned to his emotionless expression. I looked at his thin frame and remembered what my mom had said that morning, sighing over his sad situation. I suddenly felt sorry for him. "Wanna light some fireworks with me?" "I'm too scared to do it alone." I handed him one. He looked stunned but reached out and took it. We lit them together. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw his tightly pursed lips curl into the faintest smile. After that, I dragged him back to my house for New Year's dinner. He didn't go home until his dad stumbled in drunk after playing cards all night. I was the one who stuck by him through those fragile years, when pride and loneliness ruled everything. Then college came. We got into different universities. Suddenly, Travis stopped contacting me. It wasn't until we graduated that I saw him again. He was waiting under a street lamp near my building. When I saw him walking toward me, calm and steady, everything around me felt like it had frozen. His familiar, handsome face seemed to blur into the boy I remembered. "Jasmine. Long time no see." "Yeah. It's been a while." I stared at him, at a loss for words. Then he suddenly leaned in and kissed me. My heart stopped, and then started racing like crazy. It was a long kiss. When he finally pulled away, he looked me in the eyes and asked, "Jasmine, will you be my girlfriend?" I swallowed hard. Yes. I regretted saying it so quickly, but he always knew I liked him. He did it on purpose. And just like that, it felt natural. We got married. I remember when I told him about the overseas transfer, he went silent for a long time. That night, he drank a lot. Eyes red, he looked at me and whispered, "Jasmine, are you going to leave me too?" I couldn't bear to bring up the move again. I didn't want to remind him of the pain his mother caused. But in the end, I'm the one who got left behind. I bit my lip, feeling my heart slowly shatter. My boss seemed to sense something and cautiously asked, "Did something happen between you and Travis?" I didn't reply. That was answer enough. A while later, she messaged again. "Flowers bloom facing forward, and so must we, Jasmine. Trust your own choice. Your ticket's booked for the end of the month. When you arrive, I'll give you a month off to rest and recharge." 3. When Travis came in holding the pink diamond necklace, I suddenly remembered that I had left it nearby and hadn't even looked at it. Back then, whenever he gave me a gift, I'd always wear it right away, snap a few pictures, and post them online as a keepsake. But a gift that arrives too late no longer brings joy or surprise. He lay down beside me and softened his tone slightly. "Want me to put it on for you?" I shook my head. "No, it's inconvenient to wear it at work." Seeing that I still wasn't going along with him, Travis lost his patience and threw the necklace aside. "Jasmine, seriously? Are you still mad about what happened last time?" I already explained, didn't I? We were just drinking at a party and passed out there, that's why I didn't come home. Besides, the other 3 guys were there too. What could have possibly happened between Autumn and me? Honestly, if he hadn't brought it up, I might have forgotten how foolish I'd been. That night, he went out with some college friends and didn't come home at all. I was so anxious I didn't sleep a wink, calling everyone I could think of. In the end, I went from place to place looking for him and finally found him at a club he frequented. As soon as I opened the door, I saw Autumn asleep in his arms. Right then, I completely lost it and started yelling, not caring that others were present. Travis brushed it off, saying he had just drunk too much. His friends even tried to calm me down. "Come on, we've all been friends with Autumn for years. We see her like a brother, just pure friendship." But during their party, I had been standing outside the private room and overheard more than once, "You two still have such good chemistry. Why not get back together?" I cried all the way home. At first, Travis tried to comfort me. "I really just see her as a friend. And besides, nothing even happened." Later, though, he grew impatient. If something really were going on between me and her, would you even still be in the picture? Can you stop making a big deal out of nothing? And just like that, we entered a Cold War. By the time our 7th anniversary came, I thought maybe he was trying to make peace. But I didn't realize that it would be the final straw. Snapping out of my thoughts, I looked at Travis's annoyed face and calmly said, "You're overthinking." Then I looked back down at my phone. Travis froze, as if surprised to hear his usual line coming from me. "You're really not mad?" He looked at me with furrowed brows, as if trying to read me. "What would I be mad about?" I asked flatly. His face darkened, and he stood up angrily. "I'm sleeping in the guest room tonight." Then he stormed off. I was left confused. I didn't throw a tantrum. I didn't get jealous. I didn't press him for answers. Isn't that exactly what he wanted? 4. The next morning, Travis actually made breakfast for once. He brought over a bowl of pork and century egg congee and called me over. "You're awake. I made your favorite. Come eat." For a moment, I spaced out. When Travis was little, no one cooked for him, so he had to learn to cook for himself. As he grew older, he almost never cooked again. I understood. I figured he didn't want to revisit those difficult childhood memories. After we got together, it was always me who cooked. The only time he cooked was when I was hospitalized for a minor surgery. He brought me pork and century egg congee. It was the best I'd ever had. After that, I'd sometimes playfully ask him to make it again. But he'd turn cold. "Can't you just buy it if you want it? Why does it have to be me?" I thought I had reminded him of unpleasant memories and quickly apologized. I never asked again. But later, when I stumbled across Autumn's social media, I realized something. During those 4 years of college, he had cooked for her countless times. Because she didn't like the cafeteria food, he had even rented an apartment with a kitchen, just to make meals for her every day. Even after she returned from abroad and rejoined their circle of friends, he was the one cooking at every gathering, just because she liked his cooking. That night, I scrolled through her posts like someone punishing themselves, reading between the lines and feeling the love that wasn't meant for me. Love that should have belonged to me. Travis walked over, put his arm around my shoulder, pulled out a chair for me, and spoke with rare tenderness. "Jasmine, I'm off work these next few days. Let me keep you company. Didn't you say you wanted to see that singer's concert? I'll get tickets and go with you, okay?" I found it a bit laughable. He had clearly already been. A while back, one of my favorite singers was finally holding a concert in our city. I was so excited I rushed to get tickets and asked Travis to go with me. He said he had worked that day and couldn't make it. But on that same day, Autumn posted, "Who's this super busy guy that still managed to come see the concert with me? Turns out, he's mine." The post included a picture of 2 hands interlocked in front of the stage. On one of the fingers, a clearly visible faded ring mark. I didn't respond and quietly ate my breakfast. Travis wasn't bothered. He took out his phone and started searching for tickets. If you're not saying anything, I'll take that as a yes. But no matter how long he searched, he couldn't find any. I glanced at his phone wallpaper and said, a little disappointed, "His tour ended this year." Travis's fingers froze mid-scroll. His mouth opened slightly, at a loss for words. After a long pause, he looked at me, guilt written across his face. "I'm sorry. Jasmine, I promise I'll go with you next year." I smiled, but it didn't reach my eyes. "You said the same thing last year." The room fell silent, only the ticking of the clock echoed off the walls. I ignored his pale expression and calmly said, "I'm heading to work." 5. I thought after I embarrassed Travis a few times, he'd give me the silent treatment like he used to. But suddenly, he seemed like a different person. He texted me saying he'd pick me up from work that evening. I didn't take it seriously. He'd ditched me for Autumn more than once before. Once, I was running late and asked him to drive me to the office. But halfway there, Autumn called saying she hadn't had breakfast, was feeling dizzy from low blood sugar, and asked if he could bring her something to eat. As soon as he hung up, Travis pulled over, his voice full of concern and urgency. "You take a cab. Autumn once fainted from low blood sugar, I'm worried something might happen to her. I'll go drop off breakfast first." Then he stepped on the gas and drove off. I was left standing under the scorching sun, 100 degrees Fahrenheit heat beating down on me, sweat pouring from my forehead. But what truly chilled me was the cold sinking feeling in my chest, spreading through every inch of my body. Not only was it nearly impossible to get a cab at that hour, but I hadn't eaten either. That day, by the time I walked to the office, I was close to passing out from heatstroke. My boss ended up taking me to the hospital. So I'd already given up hope when it came to Travis. Still, I was surprised to actually see his car waiting downstairs. I walked over, only to see Autumn in the front passenger seat. Her long legs were resting across Travis's lap. There was a small cut on her ankle, and it was bleeding a little. Travis was bent over, gently applying ointment. Autumn winced and let out a sharp gasp, "It hurts." Travis glanced at her and softly scolded, "Told you to be more careful." Even though he sounded like he was blaming her, his tone was filled with worry and affection. My nails dug into my palms. Even though I'd already stopped caring, my heart still throbbed like it was being pricked by 1,000 tiny needles. Half my youth had been given to Travis. And all I got in return was a heart trampled underfoot. A car passed by and honked. Travis finally looked up. When he saw me, he froze for a second, then awkwardly explained. "Autumn had a little accident. I happened to be nearby, so I picked her up too. I was just putting some ointment on her." Autumn pulled her legs off his lap with a smile and chimed in naturally. "Yeah, Travis was just helping me with my injury, Jasmine. Don't get the wrong idea, okay?" She winked playfully at me, eyes full of smug provocation. My stomach turned from the disgust. A few people walked past, their eyes flicking between the three of us with faint curiosity. Travis noticed and looked a bit uncomfortable. Seeing I was still standing there, he urged, "Come on, get in the car." I walked over, took off my wedding ring, and slammed it into his face. "Let's get a divorce," I said, one word at a time. Travis stood there stunned. By the time he recovered, I was already walking away. He flung open the door and stormed after me, grabbing my wrist tightly. His jaw clenched as he hissed. "You want a divorce?" "Yes." I pulled out the divorce agreement I'd already prepared and handed it to him. Travis's face twisted in anger. He tore the papers to shreds. "Again with this divorce nonsense? I told you, she got hurt and I gave her a ride. That's all. You're really gonna make a big deal out of this? You keep using divorce to threaten me. I'm sick of it." Autumn ran over too, her eyes red as she reached for my hand. "Jasmine, you're really misunderstanding me and Travis. We're just friends now. If you're uncomfortable, I'll just walk home, okay?" I yanked my hand away in disgust. "Don't touch me." She staggered and nearly fell. Travis immediately rushed to catch her, glaring at me. "It's just a seat. Are you seriously upset that someone else sat in the front besides you? What exactly are you so upset about, Jasmine?" What was I upset about? It was this blatant favoritism, that's all. Finally, Travis took her hand and said coldly, "Get in the car. If she wants to make a scene, let her. Let's see how long she can keep it up." Then he drove off with Autumn. Thunder rumbled as the sky suddenly turned dark. I turned and walked in the opposite direction as the rain poured down. 6. This wasn't the first time I'd brought up divorce. On the day Autumn came back to the country, Travis ditched me to go pick her up. I only found out she was his first love after checking his phone. We had a huge fight. I accused him of being too close to his ex and lacking boundaries. He shot back, demanding to know why I was snooping through his phone, saying I was paranoid and suspicious. In a fit of rage, I told him I wanted a divorce. He didn't try to calm me down. In fact, he didn't even come home for days. I was panicked, lost. I cried for several nights. In the end, I caved first, apologizing for looking at his phone and for doubting him over nothing. He knew I loved him too much. And that's why he was so sure I'd never leave. But this time, the disappointment had reached its limit. Just like before, Travis didn't come home for several days. I didn't mind. I took the time to slowly pack my things, preparing for my move to the UK at the end of the month. Then, on the third day of his absence, one of Travis's friends unexpectedly called me. "Hey, sis-in-law. Travis is drunk. Can you come get him?" "No. We're in the middle of a divorce. It's not appropriate. But he's been calling your name the whole time. You're really not coming. You probably misheard. Last time he was drunk, he was calling Autumn's name." Then I heard the sound of a bottle crashing to the floor on the other end of the line. I calmly hung up. It wasn't until the next morning, when I opened the door, that I saw Autumn standing outside. She covered her mouth with mock embarrassment and said, "Jasmine, I really didn't mean to trouble you. Travis drank too much and threw up all over himself. I had no choice but to come get some clothes for him. I told him to come home, but he wouldn't. There's nothing I could do, so please don't blame me." She tugged at her collar deliberately, revealing a faint hickey on her neck. I forced back my disgust. "What? Are you actually proud to be the other woman? Didn't anyone ever teach you shame?" Autumn's expression instantly changed. She suddenly shoved me aside and stormed into the apartment. I was with Travis first. This was supposed to be my home. The one who's not loved is the real intruder here. You have no right to criticize me. My head hit the doorframe hard, and it was burning hot from the impact. She had pushed me with such force that my vision blurred. I spun around and grabbed her collar, trying to push her out, when Travis suddenly walked in. Chapter 7. He stepped in front of Autumn to shield her, glaring coldly at me. Enough is enough. Bullying her again and again, try laying a finger on her one more time. Apologize to Autumn. I opened my mouth to curse him out, but before the words came out, my tears did. I bit my lip hard and shoved them toward the door. Get out. Both of you, just get out. I slammed the door shut and slid down to the floor, sobbing uncontrollably. Not long after, the door burst open. Travis rushed in, panicked, grabbing my shoulders and inspecting me carefully. "You're hurt and didn't even say anything." He took out an ointment from his pocket and gently started applying it. I shoved him away and snatched the ointment, hurling it at his head. "I don't need your fake concern. You're my wife. How is it fake concern for me to care about you? I told you, I want a divorce. Can't you understand that?" He shouted back, looking genuinely hurt, but when he saw the coldness in my eyes, he looked confused. "Just because I helped Autumn apply some medicine, you want a divorce? Fine. I messed up. I didn't consider how you'd feel. I'm sorry, alright? What else do you want? I'll keep my distance from her from now on, okay?" The more he spoke, the angrier he got. He punched the bathroom door hard, leaving his hand bruised and purple. I looked at his furious reflection in the mirror. And suddenly, I realized, I'd never truly understood this man. He thought as long as I didn't catch him in bed with Autumn, then nothing happened. He thought he had the moral high ground to accuse me of overreacting. He just wanted me to give in and keep loving him like nothing had changed. My body started trembling, and tears rolled down my cheeks again. Travis softened, gently wiping my tears away and speaking in a lower voice. "Come on, Jasmine, we've been together for so many years. We're the most important people in each other's lives. Don't talk about divorce anymore. It really hurts me, okay? This time it's my fault. I promise it won't happen again. Please." He was always like this, giving me a slap, then offering a sweet word. And every time, I would give in. But not this time. I looked up at him through teary eyes. Travis, if Autumn contacts you within a week, and you don't reach out to her at all, I'll stop bringing up divorce. He looked surprised, then broke into a smile. That's it? That simple? I nodded. Yes, it was that simple. But I knew he wouldn't be able to do it. Chapter 8. Travis started coming home early. On the first day, he brought me a bouquet of my favorite lisianthus. On the second, he canceled a social gathering to take me out for hot pot, my favorite. On the third, he went to the gym with me. On the fourth, we had dinner at home, he cooked. On the last day, I arranged to meet Autumn. She arrived an hour late. With perfect makeup, she sat down in front of me and immediately mocked. What, you finally let go of Travis long enough to spare some time for me? Are you here to warn me to stay away from him? Not gonna work. Who he hangs out with is none of my business, or yours. She chuckled, her voice full of smugness. As if to say, I'm stealing your man, what are you gonna do about it? Suddenly, I raised my hand and slapped her across the face. The room fell dead silent. The only sound left was the sharp echo of that slap in the air. Autumn stared at me in shock, clutching her cheek. You think you can just hit me? I calmly wiped my hand with a napkin. You went on a trip with my husband. You kissed him. Tell me, shouldn't I slap you? Her face turned pale, then she scoffed. So you finally figured it out? My social media posts? They were for you to see. Love can't be locked down with a piece of paper. I took a sip of coffee and looked at her indifferently. As you wished, Travis and I are getting a divorce. I saw the smug smile creep up her lips, but I added. But he doesn't agree. I told him, if he doesn't contact you for a whole week, I'll stop talking about divorce. And today is the last day. Watching the flicker of frustration and disbelief in her eyes, I stood up and smiled. Let's see if you have what it takes to break his promise to me. I'm looking forward to it. Behind me, she yelled. Jasmine. Just you wait. Chapter 9. That night, Travis came home right on time. Maybe because he knew it was the final day of our agreement, he seemed unusually upbeat. He hugged me from behind and whispered. Jasmine, let's go to the restaurant where we had our first date tonight, okay? We'll treat it as our 7th anniversary celebration. At the restaurant, we sat in the same seats as back then. The warm golden light softened his sharp features. For a moment, he looked like the youthful, charming guy I fell for. He chuckled as he watched me cut into my steak. Jasmine, you're still just as cute. He took the knife and fork from me, sliced a piece, and gently fed it to me. I had always known, Travis was smart. After breaking free from his difficult family, he'd started his own business in college and achieved financial independence soon after graduating. And he knew how to be romantic. Out of nowhere, he pulled out a bouquet of red roses and placed them on the table. Roses for a beautiful lady. To celebrate our first date. Snapping back to the present, I saw the same red roses and the same dinner set on the table. Enjoy your meal, the waiter said as soft music began to play. The lights dimmed, everything was perfect. Then Travis's phone rang. I didn't need to look, I knew it was Autumn. His face stiffened. He hit decline. The phone rang again. Relentlessly. I stood up. I'm going to the restroom. He looked relieved and gave me a tight nod. Okay. When I came back, I heard Autumn's sobbing voice through the phone. Travis, why haven't you answered me these past few days? I know you still care about me. Ah, don't touch me. Get away from me. Travis panicked. Autumn, where are you? What happened? I'm at a bar, some guy's been harassing me. I'm scared, Travis, I'm really scared. Come get me, please. Travis snatched up his car keys and turned to leave, only to run into me. He avoided my eyes and said, Jasmine. I'm sorry. Autumn's in trouble at the bar. She's only there because of me, I can't just leave her. I'll take her home, then come back to finish dinner with you. I asked, do you really have to go? You promised me. He looked at me, silent for a moment. Then his gaze turned cold. Jasmine, I thought you were a compassionate person. Why can't you show a little understanding for someone in danger? I'll be right back. I promise. With that, he jogged out the door. Before getting in the car, he turned back to glance at me through the restaurant window. I waved goodbye with a smile. He shut the door, started the car, and drove away. I sat back down and quietly finished the rest of my dinner. 10. Back home, I took out the printed divorce agreement and placed it on the bedside table. I grabbed my already packed suitcase and closed the door behind me. On the plane to the UK, I received messages and photos from Autumn. In the photos, Travis and she were lying together, bare shoulders exposed. You lost. He fell asleep next to me. He's not coming back tonight. You better hurry up and divorce him. You can't compete with me. She proudly declared her victory over me. I smiled, yes, she won. But I hadn't lost. I saved the photos on my phone and sent them to Travis. Sign the divorce papers. Then I blocked all of his contact information. 11. When Travis woke up, Autumn was lying beside him. He was shocked, eyes wide open, quickly getting up. He couldn't remember how he ended up sleeping next to her. He clearly remembered dropping her off at home and planning to leave. But last night, Autumn suddenly hugged him from behind, crying, saying, Travis, can you stay with me a little longer? I'm still so scared. I know you want to go back to Jasmine, so just have one more drink with me. After this, I won't bother you again. A voice in Travis's head screamed at him to refuse. He promised Jasmine he'd come back to have dinner with her. He forgot last time, on their 7th anniversary. This time, he couldn't break his word. But Autumn's trembling hands holding his were pitiful, and her tears sincere. He sighed and gently patted her back. I'll stay a little longer, but I really have to go. Jasmine is still waiting for me. He told himself this was the last time he would give in. After this, he would truly be with Jasmine. But after the drinks, he couldn't remember what happened next. He woke up in Autumn's bed, panic rising. He recalled Jasmine's calm eyes when she said goodbye, no anger, no resentment, just peaceful acceptance, as if it was the last time they'd see each other. That thought was like a swarm of mosquitoes buzzing painfully in his mind, gnawing at his heart. Travis hurriedly dressed and stumbled out, rushing home to find Jasmine. Countless red lights on the road seemed to stretch the distance between them even further. He grew more anxious. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Jasmine had liked him since she was little. He was the only person she had ever loved. She wouldn't stay angry for long. At worst, he would just have to try harder to make her forgive him. 12. When Travis arrived home, he immediately noticed how unusually clean everything was, too clean, as if something was missing. He didn't dare think further. He rushed to the bedroom, praying Jasmine was still asleep. But she wasn't there. The bed was neatly made, just like when Jasmine had tidied it the morning before. She hadn't come home all night. His body trembled as he searched every corner but found no sign of Jasmine. Or rather, no trace of her belongings. He finally realized what was missing, Jasmine's things. His heart felt like it was being squeezed painfully, the pain spreading through his body. He took out his phone to call her, but it was dead and shut off. He rushed to get the charger but fell in his haste. He struggled to reach it and plugged it in. Waiting for the phone to power on, his body tensed, breath quickening, anxiety hanging over him like a sword ready to drop at any moment. And the sword did fall. One message, one photo, sealed his fate. He picked up the divorce agreement on the bedside table, Jasmine's signature already on it, and stared at it for a long time. A hot tear dropped onto the paper, blurring the words. He sank to the floor, face full of pain and regret. No, Jasmine wouldn't be so ruthless. Travis tried to comfort himself. He would apologize, explain everything, and she would forgive him. After all, she was always soft-hearted. But he couldn't reach her. Jasmine had blocked him. 13. He frantically went to her company, only to learn she had transferred and left for the UK last night. Suddenly, he remembered a year ago, when Jasmine excitedly told him she was getting a promotion and raise, and asked if he would come with her to the UK. Travis admitted he was selfish. He didn't want to go abroad like his mother and didn't want her to leave him. That was the first time he showed his vulnerable side to Jasmine. Sure enough, she felt sorry for him and never brought it up again. But now, she no longer cared. She left him behind. Travis asked hesitantly, when did she plan to go abroad? About a month ago. A month ago. The day of their 7th wedding anniversary. So, at that time, she had already decided to leave him? He closed his eyes painfully and suddenly slapped himself hard. 14. After arriving in England, everything went smoothly. Work was progressing steadily, the rented house even had a large yard, and the neighbors were very friendly. I thought Travis might take this chance to get back together with Autumn. But unexpectedly, he came to London to find me. After work, I saw him waiting outside my door. After a month apart, he had lost a lot of weight, dark circles under his eyes, and looked completely defeated, nothing like his confident self before. I remembered that no matter what, he always cared about his image. This version of him felt strange to me. My heart was flooded with mixed feelings. No thrill of revenge, no bitter sadness. More than anything, it was the deep sense of loss that there was no going back. When he approached, I avoided him and went inside. Suddenly, he grabbed my wrist. Jasmine. I'm sorry, things aren't what you think. Please let me explain. I pulled my hand back, shaking my head. It doesn't matter. You know, what happened between us isn't just about that last thing. In our 7 years of marriage, he was always indifferent to me and never bothered to explain anything. Now that I'm exhausted, he's come halfway across the world to do what he never wanted to do before, explain himself. His face turned pale, his voice choked. It's important. You can't just sentence me to death because of one photo. I looked around at the people passing by and sighed. Fine. Come in and say it then. Travis followed me inside, desperate. Jasmine, that night, nothing happened between Autumn and me. She drugged my drink and took those pictures after taking off my clothes. If you don't believe me, I can confront her in person, really. Maybe seeing my cold expression, his eyes reddened. I know I shouldn't have gone that night. I was wrong. Jasmine, I promise it won't happen again. Can we try to be together again? If you want to stay in England, I'll stay with you. I looked at him with disappointment in my eyes. Just that one time. The anger I'd held inside almost exploded. What made him so hopeful until the end, gambling that I only knew about that one incident, that he could deceive me? 15. Travis was stunned, looking away and nodding silently. I pulled out my phone and opened Autumn's Weibo, showing him the photos of them kissing under the northern lights, and all their past moments, laid out before him. Travis, do you think I'm really that stupid? Do you know how happy I was when I found those 2 plane tickets hidden in your drawer on our 7th anniversary? I thought you wanted to surprise me, but it turned out to be a huge lie. What were you thinking when you kissed her under the aurora? Did you forget we honeymooned in Iceland? You said you were busy then. Were you really busy, or were you just with the girl you loved at 18, watching the northern lights? She was always in your heart. So why did you come back to me after college? You knew I liked you, suddenly cut contact, then came back asking if we should be together. What was I to you? A backup plan? My vision blurred, the dull pain in my chest twisting into sharp knives. All the heartbreak and sadness of those years flooded out like a tidal wave, suffocating me. Travis lost all color, his mouth slightly open but unable to argue. He looked at me with endless pain, guilt and regret. No, Jasmine. I love you. Autumn was just my youthful stubbornness. Now I'm sure the one I love is you. Please give me one more chance to make it right. He looked at me almost humbly, pleading with his eyes. Proud as he was, this was the first time he'd bowed to me. But it was too late. I looked at him calmly, smiling softly. But I don't love you anymore. 16. Travis was struck like lightning, standing there blankly, murmuring. No. You can't stop loving me. How could you suddenly just not love me? I watched his painful struggle to accept it, knowing he wasn't really about love or attachment. I'd loved him too long, it just took him a moment to realize. Let's part on good terms. Don't disturb my life anymore. You're free now, to love whoever you truly want. I glanced at the time and signaled it was time for him to leave. After he left, I picked up a hobby I had in college, skydiving. Before being with him, I was always someone who loved new experiences and adventure. Always curious, always full of life. But the growing disappointments wore down my innocence and passion. Travis didn't want to leave, saying he couldn't live without me. I laughed bitterly. When we were together, he'd gone days without coming home, and now he said he couldn't live without me? Why didn't he say that earlier? I called building staff to escort him out. In England, I joined a nearby skydiving camp. After a few trial jumps, I gradually found the feeling again. The coach told me there would be a skydiving competition in a week with a generous prize. I signed up without hesitation. Even if I only got a participation award, I'd get to jump in a seaside town and enjoy a new view. On the competition day, I wore a cool purple smoky eye makeup and received tons of exaggerated but sincere compliments. Waiting in the sky was both nerve-wracking and exciting. The brief free fall was filled with the wind tearing past and cheers from the crowd. Then came the smooth glide like a bird's flight. At that moment, it was like having a god's eye view, a vast blue sea and orderly houses beneath. After landing, I took off my helmet, and the coach hung the silver medal around my neck. Jasmine, proud of you. I exhaled deeply and gave him a big hug. 17. Before I could finish my breath, Travis appeared holding a bouquet of flowers. His eyes lit up in admiration, his voice tinged with excitement. Jasmine, you're amazing. I never knew you could skydive. And, your makeup today is special too. Very pretty and suits you. He held out the flowers, looking at me almost greedily. My friends nearby widened their eyes and whispered gossip. Jasmine, who's that? I replied in front of him, my almost ex-husband, the one who can't clearly separate me from his first love. One friend immediately rolled her eyes, grabbed a bouquet half my height from the prizes, and deliberately pushed it toward me, blocking Travis. Jasmine, this is the kind of flower you deserve. I couldn't help laughing, took the flowers, and thanked her. Thanks. Then I walked away holding the bouquet, not looking back at Travis. He caught up, grabbed my wrist, voice trembling. Jasmine, I told her clearly. She won't bother us anymore. Please don't be so hard on me. It was my day to celebrate. I really didn't want to listen to his confessions now. So I shook off his hand, flipped my hair, and cut him off. Sorry, I have a date. No time for your long stories. 18. I didn't expect Travis to give up. He bought a place nearby and moved in. Maybe because over the years, I had softened my stance on him so many times, he thought if he just persisted a little longer, I'd eventually forgive him. I shook my head in helplessness and didn't even give him a glance. He wasn't discouraged at all. Like he was trying to win me over all over again, he stood outside my door every day with flowers and gifts in hand. Because of this, I even stopped sunbathing in the yard. Until one day, my neighbor Ryan came back from a trip and brought me some local specialties. Travis stormed in angrily, his eyes landing on Ryan and me, and shouted. Is he the guy you went on a date with that day? Are you two together now? How far have you gone? After his outburst, he closed his eyes in pain and said hoarsely. Are you doing this to get back at me? Suppressing my anger, I looked at him coldly. Don't think I'm as despicable as you. We're not divorced yet. I still have basic limits and morals. He instantly deflated, gave an awkward smile, and said with a bitter voice. Jasmine, please don't say that about me. I finally understand how you felt back then, how upset you were. It was my fault. Yeah, you just need to sign the divorce papers, right? I showed no reaction and cut him off coldly. Travis was silent for a long time, then tears started to fall. Do I really have no chance at all? I looked at the man who once loved me deeply. What's done can't be undone. I can't deceive myself by pretending I don't see the cracks between us, nor can I keep pretending everything is fine and try to fix what's broken day and night. Travis suddenly broke down in tears, choking out. I'm sorry, Jasmine. He signed the divorce papers and slowly turned away, disappearing into the sunset. I watched his lonely figure fade into the horizon. My youthful years sank with the setting sun. 19. 2 years later, I was promoted to general manager of a branch company. Looking at myself in the mirror, I seemed more vibrant than I had 2 years ago. People often mistook me for a student from the neighboring college. I was very satisfied with this state. Whenever I had time off, I traveled around the world to see places I had never seen before. While watching the sea in the Maldives, I suddenly received messages from friends back home. Hey, karma's real. After Travis returned to the country, Autumn harassed him for 2 years, begging him to marry her. He never agreed. A few days ago, Autumn suddenly went crazy, crashed her car into him to keep him tied to her forever. She was arrested the same day, charged with intentional injury. Travis is still in the hospital, with no friends visiting him. In the end, my friend hesitated. Jasmine, do you want to go back and see him? I smiled. I'm traveling around the world now. Maybe if I ever get to his city, I'll drop by. The clouds reflected quietly on the sea and drifted away. Time and I both keep moving forward.